What is secure systems? Class code SS 1.1, revised May 2019. What is secure systems? The system we use to access EIV is called HUD Secure Systems. Often we find staff members call secure systems simply EIV. However, if you navigate to the login page, you'll note on the left-hand side, it designates this as the Secure System Single Sign-On. This system actually provides access to multiple federal databases, such as TRACS, PASS, and EIV. Your login information is called a WAS ID. This stands for Web Access Secure System User Identification. On that login page, you'll note in the attentions box, there's a Forgot Your Password link. Please be sure you use this link to reset your password, as we cannot do that for you from the corporate office. Once you have logged in, you will see the legal warning, the warning notice, and the message of the day. Be sure that you are reviewing that message of the day for any relevant information regarding the systems. In some cases, it will warn you when information is either outdated or databases are unavailable. Once you have navigated into Secure Systems, you will see the list of systems that you have access to. Your list may be different than what I see. However, the way to access any of these databases is to click on their name. So starting with the last link there, TRACS. What is TRACS? TRACS stands for Tenant Rental Assistance Certification System. This is where HUD's multifamily division stores and reviews all resident certifications and property HAP requests. This information is transmitted from one site at least monthly, either to your CA, who then forwards the information to TRACS, or directly to TRACS. This depends on your property's funding, and we set that up for you, so you don't need to determine where that is going. In either case, TRACS reporting works the same. Now, when you have an MOR, the auditor is going to review and ensure that we are monitoring TRACS to ensure the success of the information that is being sent, such as the tenant files and the HAP vouchers. So to be compliant with this requirement, we must ensure 6 different things: that residents are qualified correctly, that tenant rent and assistance payment are calculated correctly, that existing residents comply with annual certifications, residents who pass away or move out are processed correctly, that the unit rent and a utility allowance are correct and updated, and that the monthly HAP is correct and we are receiving the correct amount of subsidy. TRACS contains helpful reporting around voucher submissions and tenant data that can help us make sure that we are staying in compliance. As a reminder, even if you are receiving your monthly subsidy payments, there may still be issues in TRACS that require attention, so please be sure to review your compliance percentage and identify and correct tenant data issues. So as a breakdown on how TRACS works, in one site, you'll create your 50059. So for example, you have a new move-in. You create a move-in 50059. That move-in is going to list the member information for all household members. So their name, social security number, date of birth. That 50059 is also going to include income data for all of those household members. That certification is also going to be listed on the HAP voucher for the appropriate HAP reporting month. This HAP is required to be submitted at least by the 10th of the month. All this information goes from one site, and we transmit this from one site to your CA or directly to TRACS. If your CA approves this and transmits it to TRACS for us, The end result is the same. EIV stores that voucher and tenant data and reports those submissions to HUD. Moving into EIV, EIV stands for Enterprise Income Verification. EIV takes the tenant data from various sources, including from the most recent 50059, member information from the 50059, the Department of Health and Human Services National Directory of New Hires, and the Social Security Administration. So going on in our tree, we have our member information and income data that EIV is looking at. We transmit that information from one site to the CA or TRACS. The CA forwards that to TRACS, and TRACS pings EIV and says, hey, there's a new 50059 and we need you to verify the member information and income data. So EIV takes that data and sends it to the National Directory of New Hires and to Social Security Administration for a data match. The National Directory of New Hires is going to review the wages and unemployment data. Social Security Administration is going to review the member information as well as any federal benefits data. The results of those data matches will be reported in EIV for you to review. This data is used to verify eligibility for participation, as well as how much subsidy they are eligible to receive. So you definitely want to get this right. Please be aware, any other use is prohibited and can result in civil or criminal penalties. Don't be a bad dog. Please also be aware that under the Privacy Act, tenants have the right to dispute or challenge the accuracy of the information in the system. No adverse action should be taken against the tenant until the administrator has independently verified the information. This is why we have adult members complete a form that they agree with the data in EIV. If the data is incorrect, the member needs to contact the agency to correct that information. We cannot correct it for them. EIV use is required by HUD. Your attention to following our policy will ensure that your property does not receive MOR findings related to EIV. Incorrect use or lack of use can result in financial penalties to the owner. We don't want to explain to the owner why they're losing money because we are not following HUD policy. The SHP EIV policy is available in your property's docs in one site. You will also find the EIV report matrix. The matrix summarizes requirements for each report, such as the frequency, how to resolve discrepancies, and where to place the report and/or supporting information. So in one site, on the left-hand side, you'll select the 3 horizontal lines that are your menu button. From there, you'll select Docs, and you'll see this screen. And on the left-hand side, under Filing Cabinet, select Property. And under the Documents column, select One Site Documents, and then SHP Policies. You will see our policy documents there, including the EIV policy and procedure and the report matrix. This is what that matrix looks like. We definitely suggest printing this out and keeping it at hand for quick reference. Who needs access to these systems and secure systems? As a default, senior managers and property managers are going to be provided to pass, TRACS, and EIV. Assistant property managers will be provided access to EIV. Assistant property managers may be provided access to TRACS or PASS upon request by the senior manager. Other property staff, secure systems access is by request by the senior manager. So if you do have additional staff at your site who requires access to secure systems, please be sure you're communicating this with your senior manager so that they can work with the appropriate contact in the corporate office to get that user set up.